going to be kind of an interesting session. We do have a little bit of play.
I think some of it will come out too when we start going through some of the history. Some of the characters were less fleshed out for their backstories and more developed over time anyway.
Ringil, you're next. What's up?
So Ringil, he
Generation and Clan.
is Generation 9 gangrel, and he was originally born as a human in 1858 to Irish immigrants pretty shortly after the Civil War, and he went on into the field of law enforcement, and he found himself as a detective in New York, and he, because of his job, ran into some very unsavory types and ended up getting embraced sort of against his will, because he dug a little deep into things that humans shouldn't have known. And so he was embraced as a gangrel, and he's played it pretty low-key ever since that, and hasn't really been part of a large coterie for quite a while, because he wasn't entirely trusted by both his clan and other vampires, because of just how at first resentful he was to what had happened to him.
So he is not one that wanted to be vampire.
Yes.
That
However,
one thrust on him in a negative way.
Yeah, and so he had a stigma because he also had no problem with oftentimes working or talking to other vampires or entities that Camarilla might not have totally agreed with. Or
agreed with at all.
Or agreed with that at all.
Which does play into the game quite a bit, actually, in very interesting ways. That hasn't necessarily been a hindrance, at least to the coterie, so far.
Yeah.
And in fact, I would say it's been a boon, because it basically disarmed Gerald Miller, Chaps, the hunter that you guys may have created originally.
Exactly.
In a way. But yeah.
He has a very high humanity and has struggled very hard to hold on to his past and just what he used to be, despite him being over 100 years old, and it makes him kind of
150.
He tries to, I guess, not show it quite so blatantly sometimes, but he doesn't trust most other vampires, even those that he is on good terms with, because of what he's been through.
So interestingly, and almost in contrast to Jessica, you have probably the highest humanity of the group, certainly role-playing style, but yours is geared towards humans and not to vampires necessarily. So it's kind of interesting seeing that whole dynamic as a storyteller, seeing that play out. So, and then disciplines, mostly what? Protean?
So he's very high on protean and animalism, and he has some fortitude, but he also has some other skills that he picked up. One particular is chemistry from a certain Ravenous that he ended up helping years and years ago on a case of his, which probably didn't garner very many brownie points with certain people, but as it is.
Yeah.
And he has auspex, but his main things that he focuses on is protein and animalism.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that recap.